Hello, welcome back to Detailing and the Beast. Today we're going to be working on the Ranger again. Now this is a generic video, it's not Ranger specific and it's certainly not detailing specific. But what we're going to be looking at is a problem that I have on my Ranger. Now I did a video not so long ago about checking tyre pressures and the reasons for the tyre valves that could be leaking if the tyre itself isn't leaking. And that's done quite well. But I still have a problem on one of my tyres. Now, on the Ranger in particular, and this could go for other cars, other brands, other makes and models, it does have TPMS, tyre pressure monitoring system, built in. But when that alarm or that trigger is made, the TPMS only flashes up on the dashboard that there is a tyre pressure loss. It doesn't tell me which tyre. It will not tell me whether it's front, back, left or right, and it certainly will not tell me what the pressure has dropped to. So, what I then went in search for on Amazon was a TPMS with some sort of dial, some sort of setting that I can look at in the car and keep an eye on this problem. But it had to be cheap. So today I have this. This is the Jansite tyre pressure monitoring system. So this is the Jansite TPMS, tyre pressure monitoring system, and it's very, very cheap. It's only $32.99 off Amazon, and that includes delivery. Now, what you get is 2 seconds, let me just get this out. You get 4 valve caps that you're going to replace on your valves, the caps on the valves of your tyres, and they are labelled up. So front left, rear right, front right, rear left, and obviously them go on the corresponding wheels on your car. There is also a couple of mounting pads, so there's a couple of options for mounting this, and ultimately you get this little unit. So one of the options I thought was really, really nice is the ability to mount this to the windscreen, and it's all solar powered. So it has a solar panel on the back, it has the readings on the front, it's nice and neat, a really neat little unit that I can then hopefully mount the solar panel on the underside of the windscreen like that, somewhere near the top, and have this running on solar power, and it'll tell me all 4 pressures of all 4 tyres. I thought that was a really neat idea. So I haven't used this before, it's brand new out the box, this hasn't been sent to me, I've had to purchase this to solve a problem that I have. So we're going to get through, we're going to fit this, we're going to fit the valves, we're going to fit the unit, and then I'll come back to you and I'll tell you whether I think it's any good or not. So this is the process for fitting the sensors. You get these anti-theft nuts as well, along with a little spanner. That all comes in the box. And then we've got the nut itself, this one being the front right. First thing we're going to do, remove your old valve cap. And take one of those anti-theft nut washers and just screw that onto your valve. Go quite a way down, I think you just go all the way down. And then put on your new cap. You get a little bit of air loss, which is fine. And then what you've got to do is wind, now I'm not going to be able to show you this on camera, but wind that anti-theft nut back on itself as if you were taking it off, up against the new sensor, and tighten it with the spanner. Apparently that will stop you thieving these caps, but I don't really see that myself. But hey ho, we'll do it. And that's it. So I've just got to repeat that now for the other 3 wheels. That was really, really simple. Literally 2 seconds work. And it does say to check for leaks on each of these as well. So the best thing to do is get some soapy water and just spray that on the back and just check for no air bubbles. I can pretty much hear that there's nothing coming out of that, but I will check them later. Now before I move on, it is worth noting that these things do obviously have to report back to the main unit, and to do that wirelessly they need a battery, which is predominantly why they're so big. To change those batteries, you again use the supplied spanner, you get your cap, and you literally unwind this cap from the top cap and the thing will come apart. And there is your battery to be replaced. It takes one CR1632 battery. So that's the 4 sensors done. We've now got the option, or 2 options, of fitting this unit. Now, I've already said that I'm going to mount mine up on the windscreen somewhere, but you do have this dash mount as well. So this literally clips into here. You get a little screw in the box that you'd screw the 2 together, and then you get a sticky pad, and you could stick that anywhere on your dash. So we could have it somewhere down here, like a head-up display, that sort of thing. But for me, I think that looks a bit cheap, a little bit nasty. Not that the unit looks of any great quality, to be honest, but I am going to mount mine somewhere up here, just out the way, just below the headlining, where I can still access the buttons at the top. And I'm going to stick it there, out the way, where I don't think anybody can see it. So what I'm going to do, you get 2 3M sticky pads. I'm just going to apply them now. And they literally just sit on the outside of the solar panels. Remove the 2 pieces of red backing tape and position that on your screen like so. Now we're going to turn it on, get the sensors connected to the unit, and we'll see how it fares. So hopefully you can see this on camera, but this is my unit here. Hope you'll agree, nice and out the way. You can just about see the pressures. Now, if you hold down the left-hand button, that turns the unit on. Okay, so after a long drawn-out process, these instructions are absolute garbage. So to pair this up, it says they come paired from the factory. I can guarantee you that this kit did not come paired. To enter pairing mode, you hold down the right hand arrow button, the 3rd one of the 3. You hold that down until it bleeps 3 times. That is then in pairing mode. To start pairing, you just tap it once more, and then you go round and you install your sensors. Now, before you enter pairing mode, loosen off all them valve caps. You don't have to take them entirely off, but enough that they stop hissing. Take them all the way off, all 4 corners, enter pairing mode, and it will tell you which corners to do first. So it's front left, front right, rear left, in that order. And all you do is run round, tighten them back up, and it beeps, and you can hear this from outside the car. Move on to the next corner, tighten that one up, it beeps. Move to the final, the back corners, tighten them 2 up, and it beeps. And that is then it, it's all paired up. Now I can see here that I've got 28, 26, 29 and 33, so I've got quite a mismatch of tyre pressures. But you know what? Beforehand, this car wasn't kicking off. It wasn't saying that I had a problem with my TPMS. It wasn't saying I had a problem with my tyre pressures. But they're not equal, so I'm going to have, you know, decreased fuel efficiency, increased wear on the tyres. It's not good. So for 33 quid, I think this is an absolute bargain. I will keep an eye on this going forwards, and I'll put an update in the comments or the description of this video as and time goes on if I find any problems. One final thing to note is that as well as having a solar panel, I'm hoping that works through my Sunstrip, but we'll see. It's showing a full battery at the minute. You do get a USB cable. It's a USB, micro USB cable that you plug into the side, and then you can plug this into a USB socket, a 5-volt to charge up. But what I would suggest is if you're running this anywhere of any sort of length, you're going to need a bigger cable than that, and you're going to need some sort of adapter, whether that be a cigarette lighter adapter or a hardwire kit. The cable that comes with it is neither use nor ornament to anybody, so that can go in the bin as well. So we'll get out now and we'll have a quick recap and find out and have a talk about what we found. So that's the installation all complete. I'm just going to go on to my final thoughts. Now, obviously I've not had this installed for any length of time, so I can't comment on things like the battery life of the sensors or of the unit without it being plugged in. I am going to be running it on solar power, so hopefully that will last. As I said before, if I notice any problems further with this, what I'm going to do is update the comments and the description below. If you've had this unit, don't forget to comment below as well and tell me your experiences. But for now, I'm hoping that this is going to be good. So what did I and didn't I like about it? Let's start off with some of the negatives. The first one was that it says in the instructions that these things come paired. straight out the box. Now, it might be for other units and for other people, but for me, this was not paired. They were flashing up 0, 0, 0, 0 for all four corners, and it certainly wasn't paired. It was doing nothing for me. So what I had to do was enter that pairing mode. Now, this is another negative. The instructions are absolute garbage for pairing mode. What you need to do is loosen off every single of the sensors on your wheels so they're actually not being engaged as such. Loosen them all off, enter pairing mode. Now that was a long press of the right hand button, it beeps 3 times, followed by that's pairing mode. Started by a start pair, which is a short press of that same right hand button. And then what you've got to do is work your way around the car, installing the sensors. So it's front left first, then front right, rear left, in that order. The unit will then beep at you to register every single sensor. After that, I didn't have a problem, and it's actually reporting back correct tyre pressures. So that's a good sign. I also liked the windscreen mount and the option of having 2 mounts. So for me, sticking it up out the way on the windscreen was absolutely brilliant. It keeps it kind of out of sight, but also very quick glance and viewable. So I did like that. I wasn't too keen on the dashboard mount. Other people may like that, but for me, the dashboard mount is just a no-go. It just looks like something else bolted to your dash. I didn't like that at all. The USB cable that come with it, that might as well go in the bin. It's not long enough for anything. You certainly aren't going to get that anywhere near a cigarette lighter. It's pretty pointless, to be honest. So if you're going to hardwire this and hard power it, you're going to need another cable. The box, yeah, pretty nice, pretty snazzy, a decent box, decent packaging, decent presentation. As I said, the instructions let it down a little bit. I think it is a Chinese translation, so not exactly brilliant. And other things that I liked about it. So it's nice and clear. That's the biggest thing about this. It is really clear, so you could just have a quick glance like that and you can actually take in all the information. I like the fact that it's also got tyre temperatures as well. Them are the little yellow numbers next to the big white ones, which are your tyre pressure. You can set your temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit. So for you American guys that use in Fahrenheit, then you can do that. For us here in the UK, it's pretty much a degrees Celsius thing, so we use the degrees C. You can do pressure in PSI or bar. Again, I prefer a PSI reading just because that's what I've been used to from my motoring days. And yeah, it's really good. The alarms, I've taken a sensor off and the alarms go boom, 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 boom. You know, it kicks off. You can hear it outside the car. So if you get a rapid deflation, I'm pretty sure this would pick it up sooner than your TPMS on the car would actually pick it up. And it will tell you which sensor and which tyre before you even have to get out the car and have a look. So that is nice, and that's why I've bought it. The final feature I want to mention, and again, this is nice, especially if you're running on solar power like I am, the battery isn't going to last that long. I don't know how long, but obviously on solar power, it's not going to last a hell of a long length of time. It does auto switch off, which is great. So after a few minutes, the display turns itself off. Now that's a few minutes of being idle, so it doesn't detect any movement, any force, any bumping. So I can display this now. When it turns off, you bang the windscreen or any sort of movement. So if you're driving, for instance, it'll stay on. And then it'll come back on. So now when I've locked the truck up, it'll go off on its own, and that'll preserve the battery life. I think that's an absolutely brilliant little addition to this unit. So it's not going to rinse your battery life straight away. As I said, you can hardwire it if you want to. But for me, for now, I'm going to see how the unit goes before I take any sort of permanent action with it. It may end up coming out and going straight in the bin. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get some value out of it. If you've got this system, drop a comment down below. Let me know how it's going for you if you've had it longer than I have, obviously longer than 10 minutes. And tell me your thoughts about it. Is it any good? You know, has it packed in for you? Has the screen gone funny? Is the solar battery like lasting you 10 minutes? You know, all of these things I really need to know, and it'd be great for the community to find out as well. But overall, my first impressions are that it's a good little bit of kit, especially for the £33 that I paid for it. If you want to see this unit, I can put you a link in the video description below. It will be an affiliate link, so it won't cost you guys any more than it would normally on Amazon. And it will earn this channel a little bit of affiliate revenue. So thank you for watching. If this was of use, please hit that thumbs up button. interact in the channel in any way possible. A thumbs up and a comment would be nice. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. I do a hell of a lot of motoring content, mainly around car cleaning and modifying of this Ford Ranger, but there are random bits and pieces thrown in for good measure. So please consider hitting subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.